I just got my dream car. I got every exact feature I wanted and nothing more, saving me tons of cash. All because I factory ordered my car from Langley Chrysler. I was nervous at first when Nav suggested ordering, but when he explained all the advantages, I knew I had to.
You'll get exactly what you want. You'll save tons of money on unwanted features. You'll get the best discounts available from now until when the Jeep comes in. And you're getting access to the exclusive colors and trim options, which normally you wouldn't even see.
It was the best decision I've made. I'm gonna keep this car forever.
Don't settle, get your dream car. Get in touch to see your exclusive options for a factory order at Langley Chrysler.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Kaur's Corner. Today we're going to talk about dating etiquette, and we've picked top 5 things that we want to talk about when it comes to dating etiquette. So let's start with honesty. What's your take on that when it comes to dating?
I mean, dating, but also just life in general. Be honest with the people that you might want a relationship with.
Okay.
I mean, it's been a while since I've been in the dating kind of atmosphere, but yeah, people, I think, and from my experience and from what I hear from my friends, they're lying about what they want to kind of like get people to kind of bite. And yeah, I just think it's so dishonest, firstly, but like, how are you going to ever find a relationship or just a good connection when you're doing that?
So the fake it till you make it shouldn't be a thing.
Oh God, no.
To be honest, should not exist, because you should never be faking anything. Even when you're in a relationship, even when you're married, people still lie, and it's kind of sad, to be honest, because you're lying to yourself. One, trying to fake who you are.
Totally.
And really, I don't think it does any justice to the relationships that you build, or to yourself. But the relationships that you build are based on complete lies.
So the whole dating profile should be the truth, because there's no point of putting a lie in there, because then that just leads to more lies. How do you keep track of all the lies?
How do you keep track of it? And also, like, people will find out at some point. And the thing is, like, it takes so long to build trust, but it takes like a moment for it to break off, right? So that one lie that maybe you put in your profile, and now you're 6 months into a relationship with someone, and someone figures out that's a lie, it's going to be a little seed, and it's going to get planted, and they're going to think, well, they lied about this and it was minor. What else are they lying about?
Or think about all these online dating apps. Like, I know I'm gonna laugh, but the amount of people that I see on there saying that they're active. Oh, I enjoy outdoors, I enjoy hiking. I'm like, every single person, like, I'm sure people are adding something that's not as truthful, you know, and then later you find out that that's not what they're really into, but that is the way they're presenting themselves. So I feel like even in that essence, you gotta be truthful.
I think they over-exaggerate. You know, you might be something, you might be interested in something, then you over-exaggerate. Over-exaggerating is lying as well.
Okay.
I mean, like the amount of time, okay, my Facebook profile definitely says like into photography, hiking. I like hiking in the summer, but I'll do it a lot. And I love photography when I have time.
Yes.
But I think that is like, if it's a passion, I would do it all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe is it a lie, or is it how specific to that person, you know?
What I meant by that is more so like when you're talking to somebody, not necessarily, let's say, in a profile. When you're talking about like, oh yeah, I exercise like 5 times a day, or like I'll go hiking in the rain or shine. It doesn't matter when really you don't, right? Or that's just one example, right?
Okay, what are people lying about? Age, things they like. What else? I don't know, like their job. Do people lie about their job?
Yeah, they do. They definitely
to show
do.
like maybe
how much money they make.
Yeah, there we go.
How much money they make. I think a lot of people lie about how much money they make, which is fine. I mean, maybe. Never mind. It's not fine. No, it's not fine. It's not fine, because what are we really lying to make ourselves look better?
And it's going to catch up. I feel like lying is just one of those things. Don't do it, because it will catch up with you at some point, and then there will be a consequence.
So this must all relate to then the communication part. So once your profile doesn't include anything that's not the truth, then how about the communication? Because I also noticed that there's a lot of issues with people not being able to communicate their wants properly.
Yeah.
You know, like they'll say, you know, they're looking for this and this and this, but it's like they're not very clear on what it is that they actually, or they don't know what they want.
Or maybe they haven't taken the time. Maybe that's like I don't know if that's communication, but like a reflection kind of thing. Like maybe they need to stop and be like, what do I want? Or are they ticking off things they just see in the media, or they've heard people say like this is ideal, and they're just ticking it off, right?
This is what a relationship should look like, but it's not necessarily, because what we want specifically to ourselves is very different than what everyone else will want and what the media puts out there.
But the communication thing is like, say you've texted someone or Bumbled or whatever, like you've messaged someone on Bumble and they message back, or like how long do you wait? Is that would be part of the communication thing, right? Like what's respectful?
Totally, and it's not even like just that. It's almost like also like after a date. There's a lot of people who wait to like, oh, I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to do this. What is that?
Yeah.
It's again, the bite, right? To make sure they catch on,
like,
and they stay
I
there.
think it almost sounds like people are scared to be like, I don't want to lose control in the relationship. So for me to respond first, maybe that's showing weakness. Like maybe people are just getting way too into their heads.
I think so.
But this whole 3-day rule, I've heard, the only place I've really seen it is on TV and movies. Like, do people actually practice the 3-day rule?
I don't even know how to do that.
I Googled it and it was like, it's dead. Like, Elle magazine said, it's dead. Don't do it.
Although I've heard people still talk about it here and there. I'm like,
but I feel like after a date, like, what is the common courtesy to be like, hey, it was nice meeting you. Have a good night, or you know, something.
Communicate so you don't leave people hanging.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a nice time, but I think we'd be better off as friends. Okay, boom. Like they know what's happening, you know what's happening. Move on.
But sometimes it's like, you know, you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. You know? I think I've done that.
The whole ghosting thing?
No, necessarily. We'll talk about that. Okay. But it's more so, I think you don't want to hurt their feelings, so you just kind of say, okay, well, it was nice seeing you. But
let's do this again.
Let's do this again sometime. But like, you know, as friends. But as friends, but you hope they get the picture, but they don't. And then I guess
because you said let's do this again.
But as friends. But I guess they still think there's a glimmer of hope, which is fine, I guess.
You know what? That could be because it's friendship is the basis of a very good any good relationship. So don't say that. Like just be honest.
I've learned that the hard way.
The truth hurts. So you know what? They're going to be hurt for a day rather than both of you suffering for a longer period of time.
Totally.
I was thinking back to when I was younger. That's what I would do that a lot, right? And then I'm like, why is this person getting the clue?
Yes.
Just like, don't want to talk to you anymore. But I'm like, as a friend, and I would commonly say, friend.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I guess they always think like there's that glimmer of hope, that friend is where it starts, and maybe I can just be a better friend, and then that way they'll have some healing.
Get rid of the glimmer.
Yeah. Get rid of the glimmer. And then, of course, then what? Do you ghost? I've definitely done that before.
Okay, ghosting is number 3.
Yeah. So what do you think of ghosting? You say do not ghost?
Don't ghost. It's so mean.
I know.
I don't think so. I don't think ghosting is mean at all. I think it's mean if you're, you know, hanging out with someone multiple times and then you ghost. Okay, I get that. But if it's like you've just seen them on a first date, you're like, hell no, this ain't happening. You don't owe them anything.
Yeah.
I get that you don't owe them anything, but at the same time, it's like, why not just be like, yeah, not interested, but nice speaking with you, and bye, block, delete, you know, like.
Yeah. But isn't that ghosting a little bit? Or
no,
I feel like
you're giving them a response, so like.
But I also think the culture, especially in the apps these days, it's like you can just whatever it is called, like you don't have to give someone.
You can like 100 people in a night.
Yes.
So yeah, how do you communicate and keep open communication with 100 people after that, right?
Totally. So I feel like, I'm sorry, when you're meeting multiple people, ghosting, I think is okay. I think you don't owe nobody nothing.
I was thinking of it as like one person, and I've been guilty of ghosting, and I just remember how shitty I felt after. And I think it's been a long time. I think I apologized, or definitely thought about apologizing, but I felt bad.
Yeah.
Really?
So I couldn't do it again.
It's because I think if you've also been on the other end of being ghosted, it hurts, especially if you thought you built like some kind of bond and out of nowhere they just leave. And,
okay, maybe that's different then.
Right.
That's like you've actually developed something. I'm talking about the beginning stages. So then, I'm sorry, like I talked to you on the phone for like 2 weeks. I don't know you nothing. Like that's no.
Well, like what would you say is a safe time then?
I feel like obviously if you've met them multiple times, I don't think without meeting, I don't consider it dating that person. I think you've talked to them. That's why I feel like with the online dating trend, I've always told all my friends like, okay, you're talking to someone, you like the vibe, meet them right away. And they're like, why? I'm like, you don't want to develop feelings for someone without even meeting them. Because someone's energy and their presence is sometimes it's so different, right? What if you see them and you're like, oh, that's, and I think this also boils down to the fact that people don't use their phones. Why do we only text or message? For me, it's like, okay, I've been texting, like, let me just call them. Like, usually I'm like, can I schedule a phone call? Because it's like, you gotta
We're old school too, though. We grew up with like landlines. All three of us had landlines in our house. So like, do you still call?
Yeah, I like calling way more than I like texting.
It's not, okay, obviously like certain things, even when you're, like we can even do this about being in a relationship. When you're talking about quick things, text 100% no problem. But sometimes you need to touch base in the day on a phone. It doesn't have to be like a 5-hour phone call. It's like, even if it's just like 5 minutes, now you've heard the tone, you've got the energy, and you can talk about things so much quicker than going back and
forth.
forth.
You can check in on that person because sometimes in a text you don't know what they're actually going through. You give someone a call, how are you doing? Oh, I'm fine. And you're like, oh, are you okay? Like, is everything all right?
The
and
voice
it
is
builds your
different.
connection a little more.
It's just, and what if you say something and you don't actually mean it that way, but then it gets taken.
Use an emoji, dude.
Different.
So anybody that is on online dating sites right now, before you go meet someone, quick phone call. I think Bumble even lets you make a phone call in the app. So you don't even have to exchange numbers at that point. Make a quick phone call, because without hearing someone's voice, why are you wasting your time?
You could be attracted to their voice, right? You could be attracted to their bubbly energy over the phone.
Or like, I know this might sound a little distasteful, but what happens is a lot of the times, for example, we're born and raised here. So we might not be looking for someone who was, let's say, born in India, and you can't tell if I'm clicking on all the Indian men. Sometimes you can't really tell. And then all of a sudden you meet them and they have a very strong accent. What do you do in that moment? You're like,
you never know. You
never know. But I feel like had a quick phone call been done before that, you would have been either okay with continuing to see this person or not okay with it. And the fact that you didn't make that quick phone call, now
wasted your time,
and they've seen the look on your face. Like, even if you might have been okay with it, but now because you didn't know that, you've just been caught off guard. I feel like it's very tricky.
It's probably just the getting caught off guard more than anything, where you're like, oh, it just was surprising. I didn't expect it, right?
No.
But then also in that moment, they've seen your expression and they're like, oh, have I done something wrong? So like,
that's just who they are.
Just to prevent that, would be like, give them a call.
And the only reason why I say that is because I've learned from experience, because not only did that happen to me once, but also in other time, someone through text was like perfectly fine. Everything seemed totally normal. And when I met that person, he had a stutter, and it's not his fault, right? But it was so bad that I feel like on a phone call, I would have picked it up right away and I would have been like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna go through with this, right? And yes, I could, I'm allowed to be shallow. So I feel like it was, the whole time I was like, so like,
flabbergasted.
Like, so confused. Like, why would you not say anything? Obviously, that's who they are. Why would they need to say anything? But like someone like that, make a phone call, And it might be on the person too.
Yeah, I'll say it. That sounds shallow to me, Gurpreet. For me, like, that wouldn't be a make or break. Like, for me, personality is everything. But yes, the communication, like, do they sound just like you know,
They
someone that
text.
you would be attracted to.
Yes.
Because you can be attracted by body language, you can be
Mhm.
attracted by sound, smell, like all the 5 senses, right?
Mhm.
And that's one of them. So why not try it out?
So the stutter didn't work for me. My face just said it all. I was like, oh my God, stop. But it just didn't stop. Like the face didn't, it kept giving it away. So it's scary.
And sometimes people stutter more when they're
They're
nervous.
nervous.
And I feel like I do that.
Yeah.
So, great.
Yeah.
My bad. The truth is coming out.
Okay.
I'm
so,
ghosting people and I'm shallow. Let's keep
So
going.
like be honest in the profile.
Okay.
Because especially if you're looking for something serious, right? Because otherwise
Honestly,
you're not
in
going to get what you
general.
want. And just in
Honestly, in
general, like
general.
if you have respect for humanity and other people, be honest with each other.
But
Communication.
The other big thing is if you don't want a relationship, say you don't want a relationship.
Mhm.
There's so many people out there who don't want a relationship. Then you will meet those people.
Yeah.
Why are you going after people who really want a relationship when that's not what you want?
Or
Or
trying
vice
to
versa?
trap them.
Yes.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it. There's no need for it. You're both gonna be unhappy.
Yeah.
You know?
So keep the communication open. Be honest in what you want, because you're just cheating yourself too at the end of it.
Mhm.
If for no one else, for yourself, be selfish. Ghosting.
So
That's your prerogative, because I think it's different for everyone.
And that leads me to the question,
Yeah.
too. When you went to see that person, went on a date, I'm assuming,
Mm-hmm.
who paid at that time?
So
Who
no,
pays?
okay, I'm not that shallow.
Who pays?
So normally, here's my take on the whole paying thing, okay? And feel free to criticize all you want. If I'm meeting that person for a coffee or a drink, they pay. End of story. That's just the way I prefer to be treated. But if we're going out for drinks and there's food involved, like the bill it probably will be like $100.
Mm.
I don't expect the person to pay. I will pay for myself. Then I'll say split it, right? Obviously, if they say, no, I want to pay, like that's on you. But especially if I'm very sure I'm not going to see this person again, split it, done, we're out of here. Like there's no, but if that's my only thing. So it bugs me when there's so many girls I know who are like, he has to pay. 100%. If he's taking you out for a drink, he's asked you to go for a drink, or he's asked you to go for a coffee, he's paying. I don't even pretend to reach at that point. It's like, it's a few dollars, you're going to pay for this, no big deal, right? But when you think about the actual dating culture, these people are also maybe going on multiple dates, right? It adds up. So, the other argument there is like, okay, that person should only be meeting for coffees if he's meeting that many people, But I just feel like if it's going to be a lengthier thing, even if we made plans to just go for a drink, but then we ended up staying longer, so we've now had more drinks, we've had food, I don't think that person should pay. I think it should be split. And then after that, then it's just tacky. One person cover and the other person say, okay, next time I got it. Like, then it's a little bit of a different vibe, right? But that's what my take on the first date.
I am a little bit on the traditional side too. Like I would like someone to pay, but at the same time, I agree with you 100%, especially when as women in 2021, we make money too, right? We should be offering to pay. But the thing is, there's also that fight that, hey, the amount we pay on our beauty products, remember that? Or how much I pay.
We make money,
in
but in
general.
some places you're still making less, and then you're still paying more for other stuff.
Yeah. So
like I spend a lot of money to look this way, to show up on my
So I would really appreciate it. Like for me, like I would put that offer out that I'll split it, but then if you pay, I would appreciate it a lot more.
I like that word, appreciate.
Yeah, I would appreciate it a lot more, and I'm like, okay, this person understands. This is the kind of person I personally would like to be with. Again, I would still put that offer out, right?
Like I would never pay the bill for a guy. Like that would never happen.
No.
Like so it's not one of those. It's not like, okay.
Unless I'm in a relationship with them, and then you know what?
That's
like
different.
you've
No,
done that.
like I said, like then it would be like you got it, I got it. Then it's like splitting the bill. I find tacky. Some people think it's totally fine. I just think it's like, why? Like I got it this time, you get like that's totally cool, right? But I think that also goes down to the whole common courtesy thing, because as much as we like to be spoiled and treated well, it's also like, it's courteous for the man to pay, even though we're like feminists. It's like, you know, especially if they're asking you out on the date.
So that's my thing. My thing has always been whoever has asked the other person out,
Okay.
I always feel like they should be the one to offer.
Okay.
And same as you, like if it's a couple drinks or a coffee, like I probably wouldn't be like, actually, you know what, I would still say like, are we splitting? Like I'm okay with that, but I would be like, come on, like if you can't pay for a coffee date, that's a bit cheap, right?
Totally.
But yeah, if it's like a full dinner, I would still expect the other person to kind of reach for the bill, and I'd still say like, if you want to, let's split it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, everyone's making money, people are all dating and stuff, and like it's expensive, like rent, food, car payments, everything, like it is pricey. So to kind of put that burden on one person, it's just not fair.
No.
Which also, I guess, boils down to a little bit, have that conversation, have that, you know, even texting, build a bit of a relationship before going on a date, in my opinion, because you never know what that person's like, first of all, right? So once you kind of understand what kind of expense do they have, do they live alone, all these things, then you can put that offer forward that, hey, you know what, you do all these things by yourself, let me help you out a little bit, let me treat you, because maybe I live with my parents and I'm living rent free versus someone that isn't. Right?
Yeah, everyone's circumstance is different, for sure. Oh man.
And I feel like you said, who's asking who on a date? Like if I'm planning a date, this isn't first date, I'm taking like maybe the 10th date. If I'm planning the whole date and like, this is what I want to do, this is my thing, I want to go do that, this concert, whatever. Yeah. Of course I'm going to pay for it all because this is my thing.
Yeah.
But if it's like something that you're like, hey, let's go catch a movie. Why the hell would I pay for that? You just said, let's go catch a movie. Like it's a very different, you know.
Yeah. Like, even for me, like there's times where like I've planned certain things with my boyfriend and I planned all of it and I'm not expecting him to pay, but he will. But there's times where I'm like, no, I'm gonna put that foot forward because like, it was my idea. It was my idea.
I'm appreciating you and I'm showing my appreciation.
I'm gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
I want you to be with me, right?
Yeah. The latest I got was someone was like, oh, are you sure? And I was like, you've earned it this time. And just make it very clear that this is a treat.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen all the time. But you know, you've done something well, so you get a treat. But lastly, the little common courteous stuff that we've always kind of been brought up. Holding the door, little things.
Opening the door,
the
car.
What do you think of that?
Or even like, if you're with the woman, or even, I don't know, there's all kinds of couples. It's not always a man and woman couple, but like walking on the side where the road is to kind of be protective over the person in case so you don't get splashed by water or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So those kind of things are nice. But I've heard people actually get offended by it. I knew someone, and we are not friends now, but I knew someone who was at the point where, you know, taking feminism courses and being like, yeah, like, I'm capable of holding the door open for myself. And I'm like, yeah, like we know you have two hands. We know you can do it. No. And she got so mad when her boyfriend held the door open for her. And she called me fuming. And I'm like, dude, he's trying to be nice. Like he's just showing appreciation for you. Yeah. Like he's just doting on you. It's nice. Like it doesn't mean that he thinks you're not capable of doing it.
And a traditional male would want to provide and take care.
It's just about taking care of someone. Like it doesn't have to be such a bad thing, right?
God, that's so funny.
Yeah, I was like, what universe are we in? Like, I've held doors open for people. It doesn't mean I'm like taking away their manlyhood. Like, just walk through, say thank you, and be like, oh, that's so nice. That made my day. Thanks.
Totally. And I think relating to that is just kindness. Like, are they kind, you know, to the servers, to the waitresses, to you? Like, just very kind. I think kindness is so underrated. There's people who are not nice people.
Yeah. And that agitates me, you know, when I think if I ever get annoyed at my boyfriend, it's because, like, he said something in a bit of a hasty way, and I'm like, why aren't you saying it nicely?
Yeah.
Well, I don't
it's not what you said.
It's
how you said it.
And that's true,
how
right?
you
It's the
said
tone.
it.
It does make a difference.
Yes. And then sometimes, we say it in anger because we're kind of like in an annoyed state or something like that. But still, right? Like I think
I
We
say
should
all my
still
mean
be-
things in sarcasm. And then I'm like, haha, it was a joke. No, it really wasn't, but it's out there now. And it's just over and done with. And
Yeah.
it seems to work so far. We'll see. Maybe ask me next week. It might be a different story. But I don't know. That's how I feel. So any last words before we end this one off? Because I really wanted to talk about dating etiquette, because when I was actually in the dating scene, I had the time of my life. And I remember at the beginning, I really enjoyed meeting different types of people. Even though I didn't know what I wanted at the time, it was more so seeing what's out there. And I was very clear that I don't know what I want right now. So it's not like I was telling people, oh, I want to get married and have children, because that wasn't what I wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was very nice that I was able to explore and do that. But at the same time, that's where I figured out, like, oh, some people, like, they don't want to pay, or they do want to pay. Then I started picking up on these, like, you know, these vibes. And then I made it so much fun for myself that I was like, okay, one drink, you get one drink with me, and then we'll see how this night goes. Because if you're not fun right at the beginning, there's no point of sticking around, you know?
Yeah.
So plan your dates accordingly. And if you actually get the vibe, do your first date very short. Make sure you make a phone call first, and then see how it vibes. If it goes well, then
And be
have a
honest.
second date. Yes, and thank the person after. Don't
Yes,
wait 3
appreciate them.
days to say thank you for the drinks.
Yeah.
Just thanks.
Say right after too. Like, hey, I really appreciated that
I
night.
had a
It was
really nice time.
Yeah.
Let's do this again.
And it doesn't mean you have to put a
Don't
date
say
on
as
it,
friends.
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you don't want to see them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you just say thank you. That was nice.
Yeah. Perfect.
Bye. You know? And that's not even ghosting. That's just leaving it in a nice, respectful way. You didn't say I'll see you again.
If you have any dating etiquette
Yes.
questions or tips that you want to share with us, like, comment below. Like, we are on YouTube and on Patreon. You can also follow us on Instagram, Korner, and it's both spelled with a K. And if you'd like to communicate with us, you can also send us an email to kors.corner@hotmail.com.
Bye.
Bye.